I keep my boys humble. Like, my boys have never had a pair of Jordans. You know, my boys don't do all that internet fly shit. I'm like, your kids. And no, I don't give a, I could be the biggest star in the world. Do not let me catch you being stupid. Do not. And my oldest gets it. My 15-year-old, he tells the other ones, he's like, yo, don't make dad mad. Because once you get one that's right, he gonna straighten the other ones out. So it's just that thing of, in the past 20 years, we've been living through the death of the American male. They have literally killed masculinity in our homes and our communities, for one reason or another. But I raised my boys to be young men. And however you feel about that, you feel about that. Right. But my boys will always be respectful. They will always say, yes, sir, yes, ma'am. No, sir, no, ma'am. They will always say thank you. They will always open a door for a lady. They will always make sure that their mother is taken care and provided for. They will always be men. And that's always, since they were 2 years old. Every time I left for a job, I tell my 15-year-old, you're the man of the house. You make sure these doors are locked every night, this alarm is on, you text me or you call me every night before you go to bed and you wake up.
I love that.
Because we're men. If I'm not there to protect, he got to be there to protect. Because you can have all the money in the world, climb through the window, that money means nothing. Right. You can have all the celebrity in the world, jump through the door, that celebrity means nothing. Yeah. So you got to have a little guard in there, you know? And so for me, it's always that idea of American masculinity is very different.
Hold up.
Shout out to the Pivot Podcast, man. That was a great interview. And a lot of people just kind of took the headline of him saying American masculinity is under attack and kind of ran with that in the wrong ways. And there's a lot of valid points that conversation does start to bring up, and we need to have those conversations. Ladies, if you're listening, and men bring up the conversation about how they feel attacked about masculinity, do us a favor and listen. Try to grasp the perspective and listen. Ask questions if there are things that you don't understand when it comes to the perspective. But definitely, men feel like this. And sometimes it may be a little bit overboard, I feel. It can possibly be overboard, blowing it out of proportion. But blowing things out of, taking things out of context even. But no, men definitely feel this way. And it's valid. It's a conversation that ought to be had, ought to be understood. And we ought to have, we ought to come to an understanding and hopefully seek solutions and what we can do to make men not feel like masculinity is under attack in America. And I think that this is the reason that we have the president that we have. It's because men feel overall that things were getting a little too out of hand. Masculinity was under attack, and a lot of men felt the confidence in Donald Trump correcting a lot of those issues for the men that disagreed with the direction that the country was headed in. And that is just, I can't say a fact, but that's just an observation that I've picked up through conversation, through deduction. a lot of men feel the effects of masculinity in America being under siege, if you will, and the outcome was Donald Trump. Crazy, right? So that's why having that conversation is important. That's actually why having that conversation is important. Before we get up out of here, every time we try to talk about Donald Trump or anything politics related, we kind of just blank out and kind of just move on. I know I already kind of have a boring ass voice, boring ass everything, so I don't want to drag y'all along, but I try to be informative and I try to give equal opportunity and equal perspective on each topic. So we're going to kind of try to tackle some of these topics and also talk about Don Richards before we get up out of here. I hope you guys are, enjoying yourselves thus far. Again, make sure that you like and subscribe the channel if you are still watching, if you gotten to this part of the show. Or, again, you can always listen on the Mixler app. We have clips available on the Facebook, Instagram, but most of it is going to be on the Mixler app and on the YouTube. So if you miss any part of the show, go to the YouTube channel. Make sure you like and subscribe so we know that you care.